Hey, good morning, everybody, and a very happy Tuesday to you. I am Fox 13's Madi Baggett. We are going to start off with what we currently have going on. Not much for us here at home. We're kind of still dealing with that high pressure kind of dominating our area. A little bit more cloud cover today. That's going to gradually develop. There is a pretty significant winter system that develop off of the Pacific Northwest, all from this atmospheric river flow, this Pineapple Express that just keeps continuing to pump in that moisture. For taking a look at Utah, we are currently not under any watches, warnings, and advisories, but around us, they definitely are. So your lighter yellow is going to be your high wind warning. Your darker yellow is that kind of that mustard color. That is your high wind watch across much of southern Idaho and eastern Nevada. That is a wind advisory, and a little bit there for western Wyoming is a winter storm watch. Once again, we're not under any watches, warnings, or advisories, but close to home there is. And you can tell all throughout the Pacific Northwest, we have flood watches, high wind warnings, winter storm warnings. Once again, we're the ones sitting pretty. We will be impacted by this storm system, but it is not going to be nearly as significant as what our friends up across the north will be dealing with. So there's that high wind watch and warning now in effect. And we're starting to see that cloud cover really fill in from this storm system that will be moving through the area starting tonight and will continue throughout your Wednesday, eventually tapering off Thursday. We could get a little bit of some precip from this first storm system, but from now until about the 22nd, we're going to be dealing with 3 different storm systems. This is one of 3, once again, from now until the 22nd. And it does look like behind the 22nd, high pressure is going to build back in. So the hopes of having a white Christmas across the valleys will continue to decrease. It does not honestly look like the temperatures are going to be there. It doesn't look like the precip is going to be there. So if I were to give an early guess as to what our Christmas is going to be looking like, I'm going to say above average, and I'm going to say sunny and dry. Things can definitely change, but that's the way models are favoring at this point. So this is a look at our upper level pattern. This shows us what that high pressure is doing, which formed off of the Baja Peninsula, California's coast. That is going to weaken over the next couple of hours or so, and that's going to allow that area of low pressure across the Pacific Northwest, indicated by those deeper purples and blues, to start impacting our region. So that high pressure weakening, especially by tomorrow morning. And you can see it weakens just enough to allow that moisture throughout northern and portions of central Utah. Just enough. In a perfect world, it would weaken way into the Four Corners region. That would give much needed precip to southern Utah and northern New Mexico and Arizona, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen, unfortunately, which is kind of what we were talking about from the beginning of the late fall, early winter season, where we knew we were going to go into this La Nina pattern that favors more moisture across the northern tier, much less moisture across the southern tier. It's just a little bit too much. The storm track has shifted well off to the north, and that high pressure is dominating much of Utah. So that's why we've had a very slow start to the winter season. And I can say the winter season because meteorological winter starts December 1st. So we're technically in it. Temperatures currently sitting in the upper 30s for Salt Lake. Provo's there, Delta's there, Milford 34, 38 for Cedar City, 41 for Bryce, low 40s for St. George. We're all going to make it once again to the 50s and then eventually the 60s for portions of southern Utah. well above where we should be for this time of the year. Just for a little bit of reference, 38 is our average. Most of us are barely dipping below that for our overnight lows, so well above where we should be. Here are our forecasted highs for the day. Most northern tier, upper 40s, low 50s. South Central, upper 50s for Richfield. Cedar City, a little bit warmer there as well. Milford in the low 60s, low 60s for St. George, low 50s for Blanding. Brian says, hopefully you'll have a dusting for Christmas morning. Hold on to your suntan lotion. But truly, that's the way it's feeling, isn't it? So once the storm system moves in, that's when we're going to really kick in that precip. So round one will happen tonight into early Thursday. We'll get a brief break Thursday, Friday. Friday night, we're going to get another storm system that will be moving in, hopefully bringing in some more precip. But it honestly doesn't look like any of these storms are going to be substantial. The storm total, so at the end of this 3-storm stretch, which ends early next week, hopefully the mountains have accumulated about a foot. That looks pretty positive, anywhere from about 4 to 12 inches for the higher terrain across northern Utah. But as far as one single dumping, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Let's take a look at the rest of our afternoon. So those clouds are going to gradually fill in. And even though we will be seeing the storm system move in, air quality is still going to be in that moderate zone today and tomorrow. Hopefully by Thursday, we'll notice a significant change. Okay, so this has slowed down quite a bit. I haven't looked at this model today, but yesterday this model, this is our HRR model. Yesterday the HRR had, or HRRR, I've heard it both ways. Yesterday the HRR model I know a little bit of Spanish. This is work. Is this I am at work? Maybe. Anyway, that system yesterday looked as if it was going to start to impact us Tuesday night. But honestly, we're not really going to be getting much precip until tomorrow morning. If you go to work really early, like I do, you should be fine for your morning commute. But things could get a little bit messy. It looks mainly after about 7. We'll start to see impact the higher terrain across the Wasatch Back, and then eventually all throughout the Bear River Range, high Uintas, pardon me, and then the Wasatch Front will start to pick up some light to moderate showers. Our temperatures are not going to be anywhere close to produce any significant rain, snow line, any significant rain, I should say. We'll see that snow starting at elevations above 6,000, and then maybe it will dip a little to the benches, but I don't think anything's going to come close to below 5,000, which is what we need. However, further north towards portions of Montana and Idaho, their rain snow line will eventually dip down to about 3,000. So that's really nice, but it doesn't look like we're going to get much of that. So this precip is going to take us throughout the majority of our morning. Wednesday afternoon, getting better. Leftover snow showers into our early Thursday. And that's wave 1. This is our Euro model. This is our long range model. Phil says, good morning, sunshine. And to you, I say, good morning, starshine. The earth says hello. High pressure continued to dominate and then eventually weakening enough by early tomorrow morning to allow that precip in. The Euro is blowing up this precip right now. I really don't think it's going to be that dramatic. It's going to be more synonymous with what we saw in the HER model. But those showers will continue throughout much of our Wednesday afternoon, eventually tapering off, and then we'll get another little weak wave moving through Friday night into Saturday. Saturday won't be a complete washout, but it's not going to be a good looking day, rather messy for your Sunday as well. So if you have time today, maybe get some of that shopping done that maybe you were hoping to plan to push off to Saturday and Sunday. You'll be fine if you want to get out and about those days, but it's just going to be a little bit more on the messy side. On and off showers for northern Utah. As you can see, that storm track does not want to dip farther than, honestly, maybe like San Pete. I don't expect much precip to go south of that. Here's an early look at what we're talking as far as rain. Not much. Look at that. Few hundredths of an inch, and that's barely traceable at that point. Cache, Rich, Logan, Summit, Wasatch, Morgan, Uinta. Those are the areas that could be getting potential beneficial rain, but it doesn't look like we're going to get much here. So this is basically round one. High Uinta is favoring 6 to 12 in that little niche there towards that northeast pocket of Duchesne. I honestly think that might be a little bit high for round one. I think a 5-day snow total, that's probably what we're going to be dealing with. But I hope we get that much in one go. That would be nice. But the rest, 1 to 3. 1 to 3 inches. That's not fun. It is so late. I just realized it was 10:55. Oh. And look at these temperatures. They are going to continue to trend well above average. I'm going to make my face disappear here for a second. Monday, upper 50s. That's how it looks for Tuesday. Wednesday, looking really warm. Jury is still out as far as what Christmas is going to look like. But like I said, I think it's going to be sunny and above average. Right now, temperatures are favoring close to the upper 40s, low 50s. It might be even warmer than that. And here's southern Utah. So we're going to be favoring more of a tropical Christmas, dare I say. Melikliki Maka, everybody. All right, I got to get on air. I hope you guys have a good day. Be safe, and we'll chat tomorrow.